This is bro.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings, sports lovers all around the world. Welcome to yet another episode of the Halftime Talk. Now, on this channel, we discuss all things sports, and specifically in this video, we'll be discussing some of the EPL and PSL fixtures that will be taking place this weekend. So, with that being said, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you can, turn on the post notification button so that you get notified every time we drop these videos. Without further more to do, let's get straight into it. Now, the first fixture we'll be looking at from this weekend's round of fixtures is indeed the big one, in my opinion. Chelsea FC taking on Manchester City FC at the Stamford Bridge Stadium in London. Two of Europe's best sides as far as last season's UEFA Champions League final is concerned will be taking on each other tomorrow afternoon. But if we had to look at their record so far in the beginning of the season, Manchester City coming into this fixture with 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, while Chelsea FC come into this fixture with a better record of 4 wins and 1 draw. The draw coming against a second placed Liverpool FC. Chelsea also surprisingly coming into this game scoring more goals than Manchester City, scoring 12, while City only managed to score 11 goals. Now, you would ask a question: who does this fixture favor historically? Now, these two sides have met 48 times in the EPL era. Chelsea managing to win 27 games against Manchester City, while City only managed to win 14 times, and the two sides drawing 6 of those games. But what is going to be exciting for the football fans all around the world is that the past 12 games has produced a no draw between the two sides. Manchester City winning 7, while Chelsea managed to win 5 of those games. But what will be interesting, or what will be exciting for a Chelsea fan's perspective, is that they've won the past 3 games in all competitions against Manchester City, winning games in the FA Cup, the Premier League, as well as the UEFA Champions League. Now, the last time Chelsea had a longer winning streak against Manchester City, it came back in December 2005 through to March 2009, where they went on an 8-game winning streak against Manchester City. As far as tactics are concerned, Thomas Tuchel seems to be a fan of the 3-4-2-1 formation, and essentially a counter-attacking formation, in my opinion, but also the formation that a lot of these players have managed to thrive under since Thomas Tuchel has taken over as manager. Now, a lot of football fans seems to be impressed with how Chelsea have been solid defensively, and particularly for me, I've been impressed with how they've been able to protect the middle or the spine of their formation, and essentially when they are being forced into a low block or medium block, how they are managing to protect zone 14 or either zone 2, depending on which side you are attacking. Now, Chelsea FC, using this system, are managing to force a lot of sides out wide, hoping that they are able to win the 1v1 situations that they put themselves under. If the side had to overload that side, they will be looking to also have more defenders or outnumber the players out wide from the opposition side, and hopefully start a counter-attacking or a counter-attack from those positions, using a diamond and also connecting with the two players, Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, who will be able to link up with Romelu Lukaku, who's been absolutely amazing or phenomenal since coming into this Chelsea side, and has looked like the player that they've been needing up front, a player that can hold up balls and buy some time for the midfielders to push up and be able to link up with him, and with him being able to play balls into spaces that might cause problems for opposition defenses. So I think this Chelsea side will be looking to really cause problems, especially to a Manchester City side who are so prone to counter-attacking or to counter-attacks. We know that Pep Guardiola is going to come into this fixture using a 4-4-3 formation, but as they push up the field, they'll be using a very weird 2-3-5 formation that Pep Guardiola likes to use, essentially keeping his width and using players like Kevin De Bruyne and and Ilkay Gundogan to drop into spaces in between the lines and pick up the ball, and hopefully link up with players like Cancelo and Raheem Sterling, or Jack Grealish on the left side of the pitch, or players like Riyad Mahrez as well as Kyle Walker on the other side of the pitch. Chelsea will be looking to force Manchester City out wide, the same way Tottenham managed to do so, force City out wide, and hopefully force an error from one of the wing backs or one of the wingers and break through the middle and try score a couple of goals using the counter attack. So it's going to be an interesting game between the two sides. Hopefully a game that has a lot of goals, unlike the UEFA Champions League final last season, which ended 1-0 from a Kai Havertz goal. But because these two sides are so defensively strong, I mean, Manchester City, as much as they are prone to counter-attacks, they're one of the sides that conceded far less goals last season, which tells you that they've managed to improve, have managed to really deal with the fact that they've been prone to counter-attacks over the past couple of years. So do I see a lot of goals coming into this fixture? I do not see a lot of goals, but I do see these two sides really taking each other on. If I had to choose a winner for this game, I would go with Chelsea FC. Reason being, they still have a clean record. I have no reason to doubt Chelsea. They've won 3 of the past fixtures against Manchester City. They are solid defensively. They are looking like the team to beat this season. In all honesty, I don't see any team causing Chelsea that much problem so far in the beginning of the season. So I do see Chelsea coming up as the winner if I had to pick a winner. But for this result, I think it's going to be a draw. I think the two sides are going to cancel each other out. I think Manchester City, every time I watch City play, it's funny how when they lose or draw, they don't lose or draw because they're a bad side, but essentially it's because they miss a lot of opportunities. When you have players like Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, who I think will be operating in the false nine position tomorrow, as well as Jack Grealish, who has just been included in the side, you cannot have a side that doesn't create opportunities. So Manchester City do create opportunities. The question is, will they be able to take them against a Chelsea side that has been so strong defensively, against a Chelsea side that managed to really turn them into an ordinary side as far as the UEFA Champions League final was concerned last season. So these are the questions that Manchester City will have to answer tomorrow. Will they be the first side to unlock this Chelsea defense? They do have the potential, in my opinion. I don't think in Europe there's a side that has so much talent on the pitch and also have so much technical brains as far as the coaching personnel is concerned to take on this Chelsea side. So Chelsea, or Manchester City rather, do have an opportunity to cause an upset tomorrow. But in my opinion, Chelsea are going into this game as favourites, playing at home against Manchester City. And I think Thomas Tuchel, just the mentality he's been able to instill in this Chelsea side, will get them over the line, especially in a lot of games this season, because defensively, as I said, they are so strong in the system. The players seem to be comfortable. They understand their roles. They're willing to work off the ball. And when they have the ball, they just have this creative spark. They have enough creative or talent to take on a lot of teams, and cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams, especially having a player or a figure such as Romelu Lukaku, who was amongst the top goal scorers in the Serie A last season. So looking at this fixture, as I said, if I had to choose a winner, I'll choose Chelsea FC, mainly because I have nothing. I don't have a reason to doubt them, but I cannot cancel Manchester City out. They do have the attacking personnel to cause Chelsea a lot of problems, and if they do cause an upset, it wouldn't come as a surprise, because with the players they have up front, they should be absolutely dominating all the teams in the EPL, which is something they've been doing in the past few seasons. But this season becoming a bit more difficult, especially with the signings a lot of these teams have made. So going into tomorrow's fixture, I think Chelsea FC will take the game 1-0. But I think a draw is much more of the favorable results if you had to ask the managers. Now, the second fixture we'll be looking at from this weekend's round of fixtures is Manchester United taking on Aston Villa at the Old Trafford Stadium. The kickoff time for that one will be also 1:30 p.m. SA time. Now, Manchester United coming into this fixture with a similar record to that of Liverpool Football Club and Chelsea Football Club, recording 4 wins and 1 draw, scoring 13 goals and only conceding 4, while Aston Villa come into this game with a record of 2 wins, 2 draws, two losses and 1 draw, and also conceding 7 goals and only scoring 8 goals. Now, some people might say that this is an okay start as far as Aston Villa is concerned, but for me, it's quite disappointing. I would have loved to see them recording one more win, especially with the signings that they've made, but it's quite clear that Dean Smith is still trying to figure out some combinations that will work for Aston Villa. Obviously, losing Jack Grealish has been a huge blow for them, especially up front. But I think Aston Villa, a side that have they lost 2 away games so far in the season. One loss coming from Chelsea FC, a 3-0 loss at the Stamford Bridge 3 weeks ago. I think their performance away from home needs to improve. They've been disappointing, especially their performance in that game. A lot of schoolboy errors, in my opinion, especially when they have the ball. You look at 2 of the goals that they conceded. It comes from individual error. So Aston Villa, a side that has a lot of potential, a side that has made so many changes in terms of the personnel, the players that they've brought in. They brought in Danny Ings, who is an exceptional striker. They've brought in a player from Bayern Leverkusen, who I think is so talented, is so fearless in terms of taking on players, very skillful, and is the creative spark, or is the response to the loss of Jack Grealish, obviously him moving to Manchester City. And I'm talking about the player Bailey, who comes from Bayern Leverkusen, a top player. I saw him playing, coming off the bench against Chelsea, and he was the creative spark. When he came on and Traore came on, suddenly Aston Villa started to play. Suddenly you saw Aston Villa starting to find spaces behind the Chelsea defense, and him drawing some of that back three, Rudiger, Christensen and Aspilicueta, dragging them out wide and creating spaces for some of the players to run in behind. So they need to do more of that, especially playing against a side like Manchester United, the side that have won. They lost 2 games in the EPL at home, a side which, when they play the strongest side, although many people feel like they don't have the best coach at the dugout, but aside, when they play a strong team, they are able to flourish under their 4-2-3-1 system, obviously using 2 double pivots, using I assume Paul Pogba out wide, as well as Bruno Fernandes in the middle, and using a natural winger on the other side, while they are using Cristiano Ronaldo as a centre forward. Manchester United are able to get results with this particular squad. But as I said in some of the other videos that I've posted before, Manchester United are going to need to work on being consistent. You look at the last 2 games in the other competition, the UEFA Champions League, they lost 2-1 to a young boy side. A lot of people might argue that they got a red card in that game, but that doesn't matter. With the players that you have, you should be able to see out the game. If you don't get the 1-0 win, you should be able to get a draw or a point out of the game. But Manchester United struggled to do so. So they need to improve that aspect of their game in terms of being consistent, because if they are able to be consistent, then they will be able to win a lot of trophies. We saw what happened this in midweek when they lost against West Ham, and these are the sort of things I'm talking about. Manchester United, as a side that has the longest trophy drought, if we had to compare them with the big 6 clubs, recording 1,543 days since they last won a trophy. They can't pick and choose which trophy they want to play. They have to be consistent in their game. But they are playing an Aston Villa side that is not good away from home. They are playing an Aston Villa side that's still trying to figure themselves out. We know Aston Villa is going to use the 5-3-2 formation and try hit Manchester United on a counter-attack. They do have the players to cause a lot of problems for the Manchester United back 4. They do have players, as I said, like Traore. They do have players like Danny Ings, who can link up with Bailey, who is quite a decent player and quite a bargain as far as Aston Villa are concerned. So it's going to be an interesting game, but in my opinion, Manchester United this season are a different squad, especially with Cristiano Ronaldo and being involved in that squad. He brings a different dimension. In my opinion, the best goal scorer in the sports history ever, and having decent players like Paul Pogba, who has a good passing range, Bruno Fernandes, who can do both score and create opportunities, and Jadon Sancho, hopefully, who will be starting on the wing, who's quite skillful, although he hasn't found his feet yet. But once he gets going, we know what he's capable of. So I think they will overpower Aston Villa at home. They do have more quality, but from this point onwards, Manchester United are going to have to work on their consistency. They're going to have to work on really finding results or getting results when all odds are against them, because they have this tendency of letting their fans down when it matters the most. And I do not want to speak about the manager all the time. The players are the ones who are playing. The players are the ones who essentially have to figure it out when they're on the pitch. So they have to do better in terms of defending. If they have that one goal lead with 20 minutes to go, they have to keep the ball much better, because that's what Manchester United, in my opinion, struggle with. They struggle with keeping the ball. Their side that prefers playing on the counter attack, but you are a side that's playing at home, so you need to keep more of the ball. You need to be a bit more patient on attack, and they need to use their wing backs a bit more. I know they do use Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, but they need to do that a bit more so that they can find people like Cristiano Ronaldo, who we know is very good aerially. So in terms of this fixture, as far as this fixture is concerned, I do see Manchester United winning the game without a doubt. But moving forward, they need to be better. Away from home, they need to do better. In certain competitions, they need to do better. They need to be consistent. We've seen Manchester City do this. We've seen them go on 18-game winning streaks because they understand the importance of being consistent. We've seen Chelsea do it since under the new leadership of Thomas Tuchel. So we've seen Liverpool do it, winning all their home games, or not managing to have the longest winning streak at home that stretches over 2 years. So Manchester United are going to need to take a page from their rivals' book if they do wish to win the EPL this season, or if they do wish to win the Champions League this season, or if they do wish to do well in the FA Cup this season. They need to work on their consistency. But as far as this fixture is concerned, I think they're playing an Aston Villa side that is still trying to figure themselves out, and Manchester United will win the game. If I had to put a scoreline to it, probably a 4-2 win for Manchester United. I think Aston Villa have the players to score away from home. As I said, players like Danny Ings and Bailey and Traore, if he does get an opportunity to start, can create something for the team to find opportunities to punish Manchester United. But do they have enough defensively as a team to keep Manchester United away from scoring at home? I do not think so. So that's just my take on that game. And now we'll be looking at a couple of the PSL fixtures that will be taking place this weekend. Obviously, the big one being Mamelodi Sundowns taking on Orlando Pirates. A big fixture over the past couple of seasons. This fixture has managed to produce quite a number of goals. Quite recently, Mamelodi Sundowns met Orlando Pirates. Sundowns managing to win the first fixture last season 4-1, and coming through 2 weeks later and winning the reverse fixture 2-1. So Orlando Pirates will look to improve their record, or the recent record against Mamelodi Sundowns, and they will be looking to rectify that record tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, Orlando Pirates coming into this game, playing 4 games, drawing 2 and winning 2, and quite an okay start from Orlando Pirates. Although they've lost the manager in the beginning of the season, they've done quite okay. I was really impressed with how they played last time they went out against Chippa United. A really good performance from Orlando Pirates, looking like a team that's starting to improve. We're seeing a lot of new faces on the pitch, which is something good. In my personal opinion, I think the players that have been at Orlando Pirates for the past couple of 3 to 5 seasons, I think they don't have a lot more to offer, and I think that's what the technical team of Orlando Pirates have identified, regardless of the injuries and some of the things that have been going on in and around those players or in and around the club. I think this is a good time for Orlando Pirates to introduce the new signings that they've had, to introduce some of the players like Tlolani that have been out on loan, to reintroduce them into the team and give Pirates a new, young, and a fresh look. And we saw the results, or we saw what these players are quite capable of if given a chance, especially with their past two results, beating Swallows 1-0 and coming through and beating Chippa United 3-1 at their Port Elizabeth Stadium last weekend. Now, we know Orlando Pirates are going to use the 4-4-3 formation, and quite a number of players seem to be flourishing under this system. We've seen players like Dion Otto starting to get involved. Vincent Pule last weekend rather, had a really, really impressive game in my opinion. Starting to build, or starting to see the Pule that we are used to, but a player that I've been really impressed with how much responsibility he is taking, especially in the final third, is Ukabelo Dlamini. A lot of people might get annoyed with the amount of shots that he takes outside of the box, but to me, that's confidence. That's a player who wants to score goals. That's a player who wants to see the team doing well. That's a player that wants to see the team coming with something after entering the final third. And I'm quite impressed with how, or the initiative he's taking every time they get into the final third, whether he makes the final pass or whether he takes a shot. I think this is really good. As far as the Orlando Pirates is concerned, they need to start scoring a bit more goals. We saw them scoring 3 goals last weekend. We saw them scoring a goal against Swallows after having going through a really tough start in the season, but they've done really well, and I'm expecting them to give Sundowns a go tomorrow. They are playing a Sundowns side that likes using the 4-3-3 formation, which obviously changes as they move up the pitch. Sundowns are looking like the South African version of Manchester City, if I have to be honest. Using a similar formation as Manchester City, especially when they find themselves in the final third. It's always been a Sundowns style of play of keeping the ball quite a lot, having a lot of possession, but they do use some sort of system that requires 2 number 10s. Tembazwane dropping in at times, Gaston Sereno, if he does get an opportunity to play, dropping in and playing as like 2 number 10s. They have Rivaldo Kutsia, who's had I don't know how many man of the match performances, but he's really, really improved and really seems to be enjoying the new role that he's playing as a central midfielder. He's been doing quite well for them. Another player that's has been absolutely amazing from the first game that Sundowns played this season is Lyle Lake. He's been doing so well down the left hand side, creating a lot of opportunities, making a lot of entries into the final third and into the box, and also the threat that he poses, especially on set pieces, is one Orlando Pirates will look to minimize. As far as defensively they're concerned, they'll be looking to cause far less fouls in and around the box or in the final third, because Lala Kate does have quite a good left foot, or an educated left foot, some people might like to put it, that can cause problems for Orlando Pirates. But a really interesting game. But Sundowns just seem like a side that is miles ahead of a lot of teams. And as I said in my other videos, what is scary is Sundowns doesn't seem like a team that is even playing on their highest gear, but they're still able to get results. That is the scary part. They're still looking like a team that's building. They're introducing their new players phase by phase, who are also coming into the game and having an impact. I saw when they played against KAIZER Chiefs and they got the 2-0 win, a player coming off the bench like Neo Muputi, creating an opportunity out of nothing really for Peter Shalulila to slot it in front of Bryce Vuma. So Mamelodi Sundowns are still looking like a team that can win the league for the next 5 years, to be honest, with what they have on the pitch and on the bench. So Orlando Pirates coming into this one, obviously not favorites. The records on their own show that they are not the favorites. But they do have a chance because they are Orlando Pirates. They live for such big occasions. It is a big game. Anything can happen, but I do not see them having enough to beat Mamelodi Sundowns. But I also see Sundowns quite struggling against a team against Orlando Pirates, because Pirates does like to have a go in these big games. We know Orlando Pirates can cause an upset. Um, but I just think Mamelodi Sundowns will take this game. I have to be honest. I think the squad they have, I think technically, tactically, they're currently quite superior and above any other team this season. We saw them against the game in against TS Galaxy. They had quite a disappointing first half, but the response in the second half, the first 10 minutes, TS Galaxy didn't know what's happening. It was like they're shell shocked. It was like they were playing a completely different side, which just tells you that they have managers who are able to identify where they're doing things wrong, to identify where they need to rectify, and in a matter of minutes, they are able to change the game with the quality players they have on the pitch, as well as the quality players they have on the bench. So Orlando Pirates, that's where their disadvantage comes. They don't have the best of squads compared to Mamelodi Sundowns, although they do have talent on the pitch and on the bench. But if we had to compare pound for pound, Mamelodi Sundowns overpower Orlando Pirates in many of those positions. And I think coming into this one, Sundowns has a much more convincing record, especially at home. And especially beating KAIZER Chiefs so easily. I mean, between if I had to pick the strongest side that can give Sundowns a go, it probably would have been KAIZER Chiefs. But the way they've managed to really, you know, make them seem like an ordinary team is just and basically kill off the hype was quite impressive in my opinion, and showing how much work a lot of these teams in the PSL have to do if they do wish to catch up with Mamelodi Sundowns. So I do see this game going for a 2-1 win or 3-1 win for Mamelodi Sundowns. I do think Orlando Pirates are going to get better as the season progresses. I think they have a good squad. I think this idea of bringing quite a number of new faces into the team is a good idea. I think they need to start planning moving forward. I think some of the players that we are not seeing, maybe it is a blessing in disguise that they're not as involved anymore. I think they had their opportunities. They misused their opportunities, or they were unfortunate not to, win a couple of trophies for Orlando Pirates. But I think it's a new era under Mandla Ndlikazi, partnered with Fadlu Davis. And I think what I saw from the past two games was encouraging. And I think their fans are quite happy with what they saw in the past two games. But coming into this one, as I said, Sundowns are such a top side. Sundowns are technically or tactically astute. They are the best side in South African football currently, and I think they're gonna prove it to us once. They're going to prove it to us once again this weekend by beating Orlando Pirates and sending a message to the rest of the teams that, hey, you guys are about to have another long season as long as we are around. So I see Mamelodi Sundowns winning this game with a scoreline of 2-1 or 3-1. The second game we'll be looking at from the PSL round of fixtures this weekend is KAIZER Chiefs taking on MARUMO GALLANT on Sunday afternoon. Now, KAIZER Chiefs coming into this game winning one, drawing one, and losing two games, while MARUMO GALLANT's come into this game having a similar record, except for playing a game less, playing three games, drawing one and losing two. Now, as far as KAIZER Chiefs is concerned, we know they're going to probably use the 3-5-2 formation, utilizing their wing backs to get in behind the defense, and also using the height of Samir Nokovic, who will be seeing in that front three of Keegan Dolly, Kamabilat, and he'll be operating more on the left wing. Obviously, I think the idea behind that is to have Blom, who seems to be more of the attacking wing back, crossing the ball to the back post, where we know Samir Nokovic is quite strong aerially and is able to utilize his aerial game quite effectively. KAIZER Chiefs having quite a disappointing start to the season. I must be honest. Their last game against Royal AM was even more disappointing, if I have to be honest. I think a lot of people on social media pointing out that they just don't think Stuart Baxter, or they're starting to doubt Stuart Baxter, and also reiterating that this is not 2012 and he has to bring something new to the team. But in my honesty, I think Stuart Baxter is doing the best that he can. I think Stuart Baxter is coming into this club with quite fresh ideas. I think the game plan in the first half showed that it worked. I think Kaizer Chiefs had around 4 chances to score goals. One chance coming when uh, uh, Njabulo played the ball onto Keegan Dolly, who then flicked it with his right foot, the outside of his right foot, into Cole Alexandra's path, and he was through on goal, one on one with the goalkeeper, and managed to miss a chance. And we saw the same thing happen when they played against Baroka FC. Kama Billet in the first half missing quite a number of chances. So I think the Chiefs supporters and the fan base need to dumb it down a bit in terms of criticizing the manager. I think the players need to come to the party now. Kaizer Chiefs players are amongst some of the players who are the highest earning. You understand? So there's quite an expectation that comes onto them as far as the performances are concerned. It's one thing to lose against a Sundowns team that have been doing what they're doing for a couple of seasons, but it's something to lose against a team that was striking not so long ago because they're not getting salaries. A team that has, which is newly formed, although they have quite a number of Bloemfontein Celtic players, but pound for pound, Kaizer Chiefs had the better players, and they still managed to lose the game in the most embarrassing fashion. So Kaizer Chiefs are going to need to improve. The players are going to need to take it upon themselves to give a performance that the Kaizer Chiefs faithful believe or deserve. They have to see. So according to that one, I think Kaizer Chiefs need to really improve against MARUMO Gallant side, which I was impressed with, although they lost their last game against the Maritzburg United, but they managed to get more shots on target than Maritzburg United, getting 3 to Maritzburg United's 1, and having more ball position of 58%. Obviously, they've been focused on the CAF Confederation Cup, where they managed to get a 3-1 win away from home, which is also an impressive result. We're talking about a team that managed to buy a status last season, and a team that absolutely managed to win a cup competition in their first season, and also managed to staying in the league. So they're quite a good team, and Kaizer Chiefs have to come into this one, give them the respect that they deserve, and also use the opportunities. But also Marumo Gallants will have to improve and turn the ball position into opportunities, and turn some of those shots on target into goals if they do wish to get the first 3 points of the season. So we're looking at two sides which they have a similar record, but in terms of strength, Kaizer Chiefs is far more superior, and Kaizer Chiefs will have to do better. I think their fans are getting a bit impatient with the team. I think the players are having less and less places to hide. If we can look at back in the 2018 season, they lost the Nedbank Cup final against TS Galaxy, a side at that time that was playing in the first division of the South African Premier League. They went on the next season and lost the league in the final league game to Mamelodi Sundowns, which was a heartbreaking process for the fans. And then they went on the next season, which was, I mean, a lot of people didn't expect them to reach the CAF Champions League final, but they did reach it, and yet again they lost the CAF Champions League final. So Kaizer Chiefs are going to need to do something about some of their performances this season. They need to add a bit of consistency, and in all honesty, the players need to start showing up. A lot of investment has been made. I think the Kaizer Chiefs management, the Kaizer Chiefs board need to reiterate that this time around the manager's not going anywhere. You guys are going to need to make it work, whether you like it or not. You're going to need to make it work. This is the technical team we have. This is the technical team we trust. And you guys are going to need to turn some of these games into positive results, because we have invested so much. Enough is enough. They need to come to the party now. I mean, a lot of senior players are having disappointing performances. I'm not one to call people out, so I'll continue doing just so. But they need to improve in terms of individual performances. They need to take their chances. They need to take responsibility. They need to be better on defense, and they need to make the technical team needs to also make a couple of brave selections or additions in terms of as far as selections are concerned. Some of the players are not giving or not playing at the level that is expected when you're a Kaizer Chiefs player. Give some of the new players a chance, allow them to make those mistakes, but most importantly, give everyone a fair chance and not make it seem like there's a bit of favoritism that's coming into as far as the squad selections are concerned. But if I had to give a prediction for this game, I think Kaizer Chiefs are coming into this game with a bit more pressure. They need the result. I think they are going to try and make it work. They are going to take some of their opportunities, and MARUMO Gallants will have to try and find um, their first points or the first positive results elsewhere, because I think they're playing against the Kaizer Chiefs side, as I said, that's under pressure, that needs the result, that has just been embarrassed and needs to respond. So I see this game going for a Kaizer Chiefs win. If I had to put a scoreline to it, I think Kaizer Chiefs will manage to win the game 3-1, in my personal opinion. I think they'll score quite a number of goals. And they'll look to build on this game moving forward in terms of being a bit more consistent. And if they do wish to dethrone Mamelodi Sundowns, a Sundowns team that is looking so good. So Kaizer Chiefs will win this fixture 3-1. And yeah, that's my take on this game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this video. Thank you for staying, or thank you for making it this far. We do appreciate your support. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the games that we just discussed, your predictions too. Please do go down into the comment section and do the most. And if you can recommend this channel to your friends and family, do so. If you want to share the link, please do so. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the support. And until the next one.